I just thought I would take a couple of minutes today to discuss a question with you. Here's the question. What are you becoming? Do you know that you're becoming something or someone, and that never changes? Some of the people that I know that I like hanging around with seem like they're always growing, always learning, always progressing. I'll just give you three examples. My spiritual father, Ron, he's in his 70s, mid to upper 70s now. But he spends hours a day seeking the Lord, challenging others, being challenged, praying, hearing from God, sharing what he hears with others. Friend of mine, Gary from Rapid City, he's in his 80s. And Gary has this twinkle in his eye that I don't think will ever go out. Just life's an adventure for him. He's always doing something, and right now he's getting ready to write another book. God, he feels, is just inspiring him, but he always has this vitality about him. And then my friend Gloria Evans. I don't think she'll mind me telling you that she's in her 90s. She tells people that pretty freely. But Gloria is interesting. She loves to learn. She's always observing people, observing their patterns, and she's learning from those things. But life's an adventure, and she realizes that she's becoming something still, even at this time in her life. Do you know Jesus was that way? Of course, he came here. He knew he was the Son of God, and yet he also knew that he needed to grow. That's right, he needed to grow too. It seems hard to imagine, doesn't it? Listen to this, Luke chapter 2, verse 39. The child, speaking of Jesus, and this was after he had spoken with the leaders in the temple and taught them. The child grew and became strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of the Lord was upon him. He's God, and yet the grace of the Lord was upon him. Interesting. Luke 2:52, it says, Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and men. He was God's son, and yet he had to grow in favor with God. What does that say about us? Luke 3:22, it says, and this was when he was baptized, it says, the Holy Spirit descended in bodily form like a dove upon him, and a voice came from heaven saying, you are my beloved son, in you I am well pleased. He had something to accomplish, and he was accomplishing it because God the Father was pleased in him. In Luke chapter 4, verse 1, this is interesting. Do you know that Jesus had to be led by the Spirit too? It says, Jesus, being filled with the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil for 40 days. Now, I don't know about you, but if I were led by the Holy Spirit and felt that I was being led somewhere so that I could be tempted by the devil, it began to cause me to question a little bit of my ability to hear from God, I think. But Jesus knew all of that, and he was obedient, and he understood the value of even difficult challenges, of being led by the Spirit into the wilderness so he could be tempted by the devil. He knew that he was gaining something in that process and during that time. And sometimes the hard and difficult things of life, they're not any fun. We wonder why we're in the middle of these things, and yet when we step back from them, and sometimes looking back upon them some years later, we realize they were instrumental in the growth that God has accomplished within us. So you're becoming something, you're becoming someone, and never take for granted the circumstances that you're facing today. Even if they're challenging or hard, don't discount them. Allow God to use them to cause you to grow and to become the person he desires you to be. God bless you.